But look at this. The composure of Roglic doesn't really even look like he's sprinting. Different efforts. Slips just into the slipstream. He's about a length off right now. In it for just a couple of pedal strokes. Almost hidden from our view now. Look at the face of Yates. Fully committed there, but into that headwind. It's so hard to maintain it. And this is a strong move. They are working well. It's holding steady at 1 minute and 26 seconds. But yeah, this is a climb for the lighter riders and of course the likes of Primoz Roglic, etc., and indeed Adam Yates. But the severity of this climb will mean that I think it'll be attacked, and I do think we'll see a significant split as we go over the top of this one. It is
have since been world champion from Spain, so rest in peace, Guillaume. 1 minute 14 here. Matt's rejoined us. 52.8 kilometers to go. We're just on that approach now to Picon Blanco. When the slopes start, you wonder if there will be a change at the start of the peloton, or if we're going to see some sort of move from EF Education. Easy Post, they do have a strong...
protected by one of the riders from Caja Rural, and on the left-hand side it is, on their right, on our left, it is UAE Team Emirates. And they make it look easy when they're riding at this sort of shape across the front. You do wonder, are they just going steady here? But believe you me, the riders on the front there are going to be putting out quite a lot of power just to keep their riders into position. So just because it's flat across the front and not in this arrowhead formation that we're used to seeing, it just belies the fact that every single rider taking the wind at this particular point in the bunch. Paul, in one of the big climbs earlier on, but then succumbed to the ridiculous acceleration that the Dutchman is capable of. And that did earn him a new contract, actually, that particular rider earned him a new contract. So but that was the first time that Fabro came to prominence for me and for many other riders. But since then has really matured as an important part of the German setup.
As you see, Roma just working at it behind.
Yeah, it's a good ride by Roma, a rider I don't know too much about. Don't often see him on our screens, do we? So the Spaniard is putting in a very solid performance here.
A young man who's competed both duathlon and triathlon early on in his career. He's in his early 20s. I know there was much excitement here in Spain among the cycling press when he decided to become a professional cyclist, as we see Alexander Vlasov closing the gap. Now it's Bennett's turn to have a little bit of an issue. He's given a lot for his team today. Rubio is recovering, and Damien Howson just continues to work away. Remember when he was one of the very big Australian talents. He's had a solid career so far, most of it with what was the Green Edge setup, now Jaco Alula. But it's his first year away from that setup, and it looks like he has a new lease of life, which is, you know, mentally something that can often happen when you join a new team and a new setup.
Yeah, definitely. A different ideology in the team. Not that there was anything wrong with the ideology of his previous squad. It's just different around surroundings, maybe different ideas on training, racing, and quite often it can be quite invigorating. And clearly, when you look at the results, the consistency that Howson has had this year, the way he's climbing in pretty esteemed company here, suggests that he's
his own familiar style and he's not going anywhere. He's checking on the presence of Howson as Yates just calms it down. But that was a clear move there from Adam Yates. And Damien Howson keeps on fighting, keeps on going. Q36.5 here, and this company having quite the day.
This is fantastic riding by Damien Howson. He's lost it just a couple of meters there. Coming up to the top, probably only about 500 meters to go. Less than that to the top of this climb. So Howson now gritting his teeth, fighting to stay into contention. This is not just a battling performance, it's a super strong performance, and I do agree with you. To ride in this esteemed company, he's in the form of his life. He's going to be pretty happy with this, as the line should come into sight very shortly now.
36 Ks to go. There is the top of the climb, however it goes down and then picks up again after a kilometre or two. 3 riders are going to take on the top of the climb together. They're Adam Yates of UAE Emirates, Primoz Roglic, who's the leader in the clubhouse here, I guess. Best place in the general classification of those at the front. And Damien Howson, who's hung on for dear life behind.
Well, this is the interesting one now. Yates, Howson, Roglic. Now Yates on the overall is 34 seconds behind Primoz Roglic. Of course, they'd like to win the stage, but you're just going to carry Roglic to the line, and there's a strong possibility and actually enjoy this one. I think Vlasov is closing. Vlasov, it looks as if, from the time checks we're getting, isn't that far behind, so I do think they'll be joined shortly by the man from Bora Hansgrohe.
Yeah, just off the right-hand side of your picture. Again, as we look at it briefly, two riders in there, and then you saw a three-man chase. That was led by George Bennett with Romo and Rubio in there as well. Bit further back on the mountain. Old farmhouses, plenty of abandoned architecture around here as well. Pretty inhospitable climate at times. Dry and hot in the summer. Very cold. Plenty of snow. Bits of rain in the winter, and even on cold days in winter you might be lucky enough to get some sunshine. Bitterly cold it can be up here. And that's not the first thing you think of when you think of Spain.
No,
it is a varied climate. We tend to have a pretty stereotypical.
So if we get the view of his left-hand side, we'll know exactly what the damage is. Just looking up ahead, I thought we could just see the car behind. Doesn't look to be too badly hurt there. It's very easy to say from our position in our little commentary booth, sat in an armchair, but he didn't look, just by his form on the bike there, he looked to be getting nice and aero, pressing on. 33 seconds is the gap. So right in between the leaders and the breakaway now. Difficult position for Vine.
And a difficult position for Adam Yates as well.
Yeah.
Because he rolled straight through there, didn't exactly take a turn. He's keeping his position rolling through, but he's not taking a long turn like the other riders are doing. He was on the radio trying exactly to figure out what had happened to Jay Vine and where he was, as we're back with Vine now. 35 seconds, though, as the gap he has to make up. And that's going to be difficult to do, even if only three are working.
Yeah, well, Vlasov will happily press on. Hausen will do his fair share, and so will Primoz Roglic. And Roglic now, he's the man in the driving seat. He's got this 34-second advantage. Well, 30 seconds, should I say, to Alexander Vlasov. He's moved himself provisionally into second place in the GC. But that crash was a bit of a problem now. I don't know if Roglic knew that Vine was coming across. I'd imagine that he did. So he'll just keep on riding. So the question is now, will Adam Yates just start to sit on and wait for reinforcements to come from behind? Firstly from Vine, if he's capable, and it doesn't look like he is, drifting at pretty much the same speed as the group in front, with just under 10 miles to go, 15.5 kilometres, as you say, with those two obstacles. And just looking at the finish, Rob, it's not an overly complicated run into the line today. Not that it makes that much difference when we haven't got a bunch sprint, but yeah, from 3Ks to 2Ks, we've got a big meandering corner, 2Ks to 1Ks, arrow straight, and then as we hit the edge of the town, we go straight, take a little right, a little chicane, and then the last 400 metres are pretty straight. So an uncomplicated run into the line today.
Alto de Vuelta is the climb to be taken on. In the same run into town as last year after that, where Bastien Tranchant was the man who took success. Roglic in the yellow, Yates in the black and white, grey jersey on the back of Damian Hausen, and in the green at the back of the line you have Alex Vlasov. Takes a shower. Big attacks or moves and splits at the front. Primoz Roglic is set to be the new leader of the Vuelta Burgos. Five and a half Ks to the finish line.
Yeah, as you say, Rob, regardless of the result, unless somebody significantly gaps the rest, and obviously Hausen will take the best part of a minute, which is not going to happen. And given the speed they're moving at, they're still losing elevation at the moment. Opening a significant gap is going to be very hard. So whatever the result, as long as there's no big gaps, even factoring in the time bonuses, and that's why Roglic is continuing to ride hard here. He knows he's going to move into the lead. But the thing is, Rob, Roglic certainly won't want to just tow these guys to the lane. Doesn't need to. They've got a big gap on any threat behind. He's still got that buffer. So why? He doesn't need to lead them out. He'll be thinking, well, he knows he's going to be moving into the jersey now, unless something quite bizarre happens. But he's a winner. He's going to want to win this. He doesn't give any gifts, does he? He's going to want to win this stage and take that rather fetching purple jersey in the process as well. So watch out for Roglic. He's not going to want to lose this one.
Another stage race to be added to the already fantastic palmarès, perhaps. 74 career wins for Primoz Roglic. This year already
but Roglic might actually say no, and this is the interesting one. So Howson, on paper, you'd expect to try and go long unless he's super confident in the group sprint, but I wouldn't be against the likes of Yates, Vlasov and Roglic. I'd be thinking, right, I need to thing is taking the opportunity of springing a surprise when you're the one that when you know that everybody else is expecting it, is actually quite hard, Rob. So what you can rely on, you know it's coming, but who's going to chase you? And also using the width of the road as well could be crucial. It's quite a long road, so thinking smart, you know, dropping back off the group, getting some pace, lightening the load as he's doing there as well. I'll go more psychological than anything else. Is what you'll need to do, but 1900 metres to go. And what isn't helping, Rob, as well, is just you can almost see the finish. Look at that, another runway finish here. Not many places to hide and do a stealth one here.
Chasing group on their final little uphill drag. 1 minute and 20 seconds behind. Primoz had a really good ride here.
Yep.
Certainly to be in this company. The man at the back of the picture now in the turquoise jersey of Astana, Kazakhstan.
Yeah, when you look
1400 metres to the line.
Yeah, so when you look at the lineup of Astana, who've started this race, I mean, that has got to be a standout performance. He's going to be very pleased with that.
At 24 years of age, came to cycling late as a pro, given his background in triathlon and duathlon. Not quite leaving it as late as another very famous Spanish duathlete to turn pro, Mavi Garcia. If he can be half as successful as she is, then he's in for a stellar career. 1 kilometre left. Now then, they look, and the games may begin. They have the time to look, the time to plan and plot, and attack maybe when it suits.
Yep.
Howson moves to the front, suggesting that he might be pretty happy to take everybody on in a sprint here, just trying to keep it going.
Looks like it. Vlasov was the one that laid off there, forcing Roglic to shut the gap. This is where the cat and mouse begins. Yates swinging over to the left, dropping himself onto the wheel of his former teammate, Damien Howson. Little flick of the elbow, a ginger flick of the elbow as Vlasov again drifts over. Everybody eyeing each other here. They're going to lose a lot of pace here. This will suit the riders with that real crisp punch. Some riders won't like it when they slow down like this.
Can they shock and surprise? 500 metres to go. A reminder, it's Roglic looking for a 10th season victory in that yellow. The left-hand side, as we look at it now, just starting to wind things up a little bit is Howson. And here goes the Australian. He's going to make the first move, or is he? He stops where he is. He knew he could just see there was a corner coming up. Thought about getting that position. Bit of a chicane as they now start to see the finish line. It's Roglic who's going to lead it out. Into the final 300 metres now. Adam Yates at the back of the black and white. He's going to be the first to launch the sprint in earnest. It's Adam Yates on the left-hand side as we look at it. Adam Yates at the front, who won the intermediate sprint. Roglic coming into the gap now. Can he come around him, though? Here comes Primoz Roglic. Primoz Roglic hits the front, and Primoz Roglic makes it 10 victories for the season and takes the lead after stage 3 of the Vuelta Burgos. Roglic who takes it up today, and Primoz Roglic with this victory, who wins stage 3 of the Vuelta Burgos. The 75th of his career, the 10th of a season, and with it, he's in pole position to take another stage race victory. If he does, he will be unbeaten in 4 stage race appearances this year.
Still a slight march.
It was only in the last 70. I mean, Yates actually opened up quite a nice gap and did the right thing by keeping it on the right-hand side of the road, forcing the riders to go around just one side on the left. But in the end, when you're as quick as Roglic, there's very little you can do about it. So the element of surprise taken by Yates. I think that was a smart thing to do, no doubt about that. Moves into the shadow on the right-hand side, steals a slight march. But look at this. The composure of Roglic doesn't really even look like he's sprinting. Different efforts, slips just into the slipstream. He's about a length off right now. In it for just a couple of pedal strokes, almost hidden from our view now. The face of Yates, fully committed there, but into that headwind, it's so hard to maintain it.